In today's video, we're going to be looking at exactly what we need to have in place before we start an ice block business. I've been doing this for about 5 years, and there are a lot of things that if you can correct from the beginning, is going to help you to get better yield. So we're going to run through as many things as possible that you need to consider before starting. Now, the first thing, if you're living in Nigeria, our power is not always there. So it depends on where you are staying. You need to know like how much are you getting from your grid power. Is it 5 hours on the average, 6 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours throughout the day? So this is your starting point, because you need to make sure that you have power, because I'm going to be giving off tips on your freezers. Having two freezers can be a bad thing. So in future, you're going to understand why. So this is my recommendation. You always have to start with one freezer, but we're not going to talk about the freezers today. We're just going to talk about start with one freezer. Make sure you have it covered before you now proceed to other things. The first things first, if you are going to be off the grid is quite expensive, but most people don't know how off-grid operates, and I've been off-grid for some years now, so I can tell you exactly how many panels you're going to be needing during the dry season and the rainy season if there's business. So, but the good thing about this business is that any panel that can carry you during the dry season is going to carry you during the rainy season, because the sales for ice block is not usually much during the rainy season. So this is something you just have to have at the back of your mind. Then, of course, if you're having NEPA, that's you're having grid power, which we call NEPA here, then you have to make sure that you maximize the NEPA you're having. That means you need to get an external charger for your battery. So these are things we'll be talking down the line. So that way, when you have 1 hour or 2 hours power supply, your batteries are fully charged. And of course, you should have batteries that can take high charge as well. So these are things you need to put into consideration before you are talking about starting an ice block business. Initially, the cost is going to be very high. Yes, I won't say very high. We're talking about running to at least a minimum of 1 point something million. Let me just break it down. So in future, I'll be giving you exactly what you need and the things you need to start the business. However, the reason why you may not spend so much into the millions, like the 2 million amount, will be that your grid power is constant. So most of your investment is on your battery and your inverter. You're not putting so much on your solar panels, because that makes a lot of difference if you're having grid power. So the idea is that a time was when our power was rationed. You have 3 hours in, 3 hours out. That was where I used to stay before. So what happens is that 3 hours, your battery gets fully charged and you discharge it within the next 3 hours, and before it goes down, it's already charged. So you understand the gist. So that way you may not need the solar panel. But in my part of the world, we're not complaining, we're just commenting. Like I always say, you have to be smart. You cannot put everything in the hands of the grid, so you have to make sure that you are kind of covered. So that is how you want to start your business. If you don't start it that way, you're going to be the one that is crying, or that will be on the receiving end down the line. So this is something that you must have at the back of your mind. Then of course, calculating your power needs is not such a big deal. I've actually run my freezers for some hours, 24 hours and everything, and I know exactly what they consume. So these are things I'm going to put down here so you understand what you are aiming for. Can a 5 kilowatt hour lithium phosphate battery power one deep freezer? Is it 10 kilowatts? Is it 15 kilowatt? How many panels would go with it? These are things we're going to be discussing. And by the way, I was doing solar experiments. The season we're in now is not really convenient, and I've not been able to create a space for my solar experiments. So that was the last video I did. I've been trying to make things happen until somebody give this comment. So that's the comment on the screen right there. He said he wants me to follow up on my ice block video. So I said, well, why not? That one is easy talk. So let's get started. So thank you for that idea. I've been thinking about it, like, should I start the ice block? You know, I've been wanting to start since even when I made that first video, which I'll leave the link and of course in my end screen. So I've been thinking about making that video or starting the series, but I just couldn't quite get started. I was kind of carried away by this solar test, which I will still do. So everything is in place. It's just the weather. It's rainy today, it's sunny, I'm not around, so a lot of things happening. So thank you once more for pushing that idea, because I like satisfying my viewers to the best of my ability. You can't satisfy everybody, but I like it when people come up with comments. So if you want anything, like, you know that this channel has the capacity to deliver, you check my previous videos. So those are the kind of things I do, and I hope to do much more. People talk about the hybrid system, normal system, what kind of batteries to use. These are things we're going to be discussing. The kind of batteries I use, they are not common by any means, but they are still serving me well. 2 volts 1000 watts tubular batteries. So there you have the picture right there, or at least the short video. So these are the batteries I use. They still serve me very well, and I'm into installation, so that makes things super easy for me. I know how to calculate this and that, strategizing and everything. So those are some of the things you're going to get by tuning in. You are going to understand exactly. One thing I hate is when people just come online and start deceiving people, to get the views and everything. I don't do that. I just tell you as it is. So it's now left for you to calculate how to go. So what is the one thing you need to learn about this business? But maybe you don't know very well. You need to take your seasons very seriously. We have hot season and rainy season. So this is a hot season business. So when we are doing our calculation, we calculate for 6 months, and the remaining part of the year, we call it the maintenance year. So whatever you make during that period, you are using it to maintain everything that is lacking behind, So I'll explain in future videos. So have that at the back of your mind. So that 6 months, you must make sure you are around to maximize, because I'm going to show you guys how to get things frozen faster and the strategies you can use down the line. So that way, you don't miss out. Your power is maximized, your money is maximized, everything is maximized. So those are things you get from this channel. I've been doing this, like I said, for over 5 years now. So be rest assured that in my own little way, I have some little experience that can help you get started. Yes. Then of course, we're going to be talking about which kind of freezers are we looking at. Is he locally made or foreign? I'm not going to go too far into that. Just don't start with locally made, because unless of course you are depending on your grid power. If you are not depending on your grid power, so I'll talk about that in future. Just let me just quickly add that. So if you are thinking of starting with a homemade, unless you are connected to where there's good grid power, there's generator to step in. So I'll explain why in future. So I don't want to make this video too long. This is like the first of many videos to come. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment in the comment section below. See you guys and catch you on the next one.